Completely and totally disgusted.
Shock and anger after this stunning admission from the sheriff's department yesterday.
What I saw was a deputy arrive at the west side of Building 12, take up a position, and he never went in.
Sheriff Scott Israel describing how Scott Peterson, an armed school resource deputy assigned to protect Stoneman Douglas High School, failed to take action. Peterson waiting outside for 4 minutes as the shooting unfolded.
Was he there when the shooter was still inside the building?
Yes, he was.
So what should he have done?
Went in, addressed the killer, killed the killer.
Cops know it's their responsibility to go in there, because we all know that in an active shooter situation, in the first couple of seconds, that's when most of the death occurs.
I'm Scott Peterson. I've been a police officer for 30 years.
The deputy in question, 54-year-old Scott Peterson, had worked at the school for 8 years.
Had you had any interaction with Scott Peterson?
Yeah, Scott and I have talked many times over the years.
School internal documents painting a glowing picture of Peterson. In 2014, he was awarded School Resource Officer of the Year, commending him as reliable in handling issues with tact and judgment.
I knew right when I heard the cafeteria, you know where you get the hairs on the back of your neck going up? I said, that never goes off.
And he's seen here addressing a school board meeting in 2015, describing his response to security scenarios.
So I ran into my trailer, I grabbed my firearm and my ID and my shorts and my sneakers, and I ran over, obviously, to the cafeteria. As I got to the cafeteria, sure enough, there were 4 males inside the cafeteria. They see me, they saw me peeking through the glass, they obviously fled. I chased them. I'm getting older, but I started chasing them.
Peterson caught those teens, but officials say on Valentine's Day, he did nothing.
You don't think about at school this stuff happening, but when it does, I feel like you need to be able to act on that and, act as a police officer.
Facing suspension, Peterson opted to resign and retire. But the local union tonight told ABC News that Peterson did do a good job in calling the exact location and getting units out there, adding if first responders don't go into active shooting situations, they have failed.
It has to be something that you have to understand. You can't run away from the danger.
The response to Peterson's lack of action has been swift.
To hear that he didn't go into school, it's just, that's your job, that's what you signed up for. You signed up to protect our school.
Were you surprised?
Shocked that someone trained with a gun. I don't know all the ins and outs of the story, but if all of that is actually true, that's beyond comprehensible.
Even the president weighing in.
Deputy Sheriff Peterson, I guess his name is, he certainly did a poor job. But that's a case where somebody was outside, they're trained, they didn't react properly under pressure, or they were cowards.
But we do begin tonight with the breaking headline involving the deadly massacre in Parkland, Florida. We all remember 17 students and teachers were killed. Tonight, there are new charges. A former sheriff's deputy seen on surveillance outside that high school as the rampage was underway inside has now been criminally charged tonight. They say his inaction cost lives. On another surveillance camera, we saw the gunman making his way through that school while that deputy was outside. Tonight here, the results are just in after a 15-month investigation. And ABC's Victor Akendo leads us off from Florida.
As the horror was unfolding inside Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, students taking cover to escape the gunfire. Outside, the school's resource officer, Broward Sheriff's Deputy Scott Peterson, hearing the shots.
I think we got shots fired. Possible shots fired. 1,200 buildings.
Heading toward the building in this golf cart, then taking position outside for 27 minutes, never entering the building.
What?
When it was all over, 17 people were dead, another 17 injured. Tonight, that Florida deputy is under arrest, charged with 11 criminal counts, including 7 counts of child neglect. A state review finding Peterson refused to investigate the source of gunshots, retreated while victims were being shot, and directed officers away from the building. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement saying there can be no excuse for his complete inaction and no question that his inaction cost lives. In an interview on the Today Show last year, Peterson said at the time he thought the shots were coming from outside.
I hear 2 to 3 loud shots. I thought they were gunshots, and I thought they were outside immediately, and the first thing I thought was somebody's shooting at us.
Tonight, Fred Guttenberg, who lost his daughter Jamie in the shooting, tweeting, "Rot in hell, Scott Peterson. You could have saved some of the 17. You could have saved my daughter. You did not, and then you lied about it, and you deserve the misery coming your way."
And Victor Akendo was with us live tonight from Florida. And Victor, we know that deputy had already resigned, and today he was taken into custody.
That's right, David. He was taken into custody on a $102,000 bond. If convicted on all charges, he's looking at more than 96 years in prison.
They're trained. They didn't react properly under pressure, or they were cowards.